Totally winging it. Let's just see how it goes. A three and a two and a one. And hello to a very special 150th episode of the Naked Tech podcast. A little bit different this time round, Kelvin.
Yeah,
Just going to
we're
talk about ourselves for a little bit.
I know what a change. Us talking about us and not about everything else. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Calvin Lee, and that's Jeff Kim. And I think Jeff, it seems right that you kick off by telling us, how you started off with tech, why you love tech, and how we started off this little show called the Naked Tech Podcast.
Yes, of course, we started with not much knowledge of how this goes in terms of podcasting, but after 149 episode, we're still here, still standing somewhat. But I thought we'd take a opportunity this week just to given that it's a slow news week as well, and the 150th anniversary. So a little bit about myself, Jeff Kim, at Jeff Kim with a G on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Um, you guys know me. I guess I don't know, on LinkedIn, I call myself a digital practitioner, um, a product owner by trade, uh, big interest in technology, and really the genesis of this podcast is, Kelvin, when we used to work together, we would just go out for lunch, have a bit of a chin wag. Would be generally talking about technology, what's going on out there, what we find on YouTube, and one day it just hit us, let's just record this conversation. And 5 years later, we're still going strong. Is that your take on that, Kelvin?
Yeah, I think we would have conversations about technology, our love for it and stuff, and we've always wondered like, yeah, this should really be recorded, and people want to know about this stuff. People find these things interesting, and the way we talk about it, and the passion we have for it. So why not? And there it was. How did we come up with the Lazy Couch, which is the first iteration of the show? Is we did what every good small startup slash business would do and see if that URL or domain name was taken, and it wasn't. So we went with it.
Yep, it was our little thing there, a little corner of the internet. But I think we did need to grow. It's been probably about 12 months now since we rebranded. I'm quite happy with it. We're quite astonished that that was available still, so we took that on as well. Um, but yeah, like I guess background with us is that we used to work together for a number of years. We've parted ways, but like we're still connected through technology, and this little podcast is it's a hobby. We're not making anything out of it. We haven't you know not because of a lack of trying. We haven't sort of spooked ourselves too much. A lot of our friends listen, of course, helps us, move us forward. We've expanded to Twitch and YouTube. Um, so yeah, I think we're still going to continue another 5 years, perhaps.
Hey, definitely. I mean, who knows where it'll be? TikTok, maybe.
Mm.
Um,
I think the good thing about this subject matter is that, yeah, there's something new all the time. I generally like to focus on future technology, the new things that are coming, how technology is going to sort of shape society in the future. 5, 10, 20 years from now, um, I guess that's my beat. Kelvin, I think you're more sort of the gadgety.
yeah, and I think it's probably a good segue into a bit about me and why I love doing this stuff. As long as I could remember, I was always pulling things apart. I remember my first computer was an Apple II, I think. No, surely not. The Macintosh, the Mac 2. I remember having it in my room. I remember I broke it because I wanted to pull it apart and see what was inside. Did that for years. My dad would, come back with his laptop from work back, in the early 90s, and I would break that $3,000 machine, and he would have to explain to work why his son pulled it apart, hard drive, RAM, and all. Um, so always, had a love for those things. And while I knew in school I was never really good at math, so I knew I was never going to be a computer scientist or an engineer or anything like that. So, but I love talking about stuff, and even as a kid, I remember recording myself into the tape and just pretending I was a DJ. So one plus what? Yeah, 1 plus 1 equals 2. No, put up a bonfire and I burnt it all. Um, so, and this is where we are. I love talking about tech. And funny enough, my day job is marketing and marketing tech now. And I love it. And as much as I love the tech, I love talking and explaining it to people who aren't so familiar with it. And I love gadgets. And
Not just that we love talking about stuff like this, but I think we like to educate others as well, make them really understand, whether that's just our family members or our immediate friends. I think that's just like a nice sort of niche, nice pocket. And I think most people have friends like that, right? Like, some, people that are willing to, impart information, how technology works, and we're those guys. We're those guys that everyone knows. But we've put this into a podcast format. And I think that's a natural sort of fit for us.
yeah, and large, yeah. And a large influence of this show is the other podcasts we listen to, and we're both big fans of a show that you introduced to me called the No Agenda Show, and it's for a podcast like this where we don't interview a lot of people and we like to take a lot of different perspectives, taking audio clips and YouTube clips and news clips and sharing different points of views just to show people that it's not just, your view or my view, but what people think of a particular technological view. And I think that's super interesting.
Yes, and a couple of things we've sort of borrowed, I suppose, from the No Agenda podcast clips, and I think that's maybe a point of difference with a lot of similar podcasts out there, because there are a lot of technology podcasts. But yeah, like we try to limit the I guess the newsiness, but like it's more conversational style. Try to draw out the little tidbits that the listeners might be interested in. I think that's our point of difference for sure. Hopefully you guys are liking that. And yeah, taking different clips from different sources, whether it's a big news organization or just another YouTube channel just like us. I think it's a good mix.
Yeah, and personally, I think podcasting has allowed me to learn so many different things: microphones, audio, video, and just the little things. I mean, you've become a production pro, and you're a perfectionist when it comes to those things, and it's added a lot to my professional life as well. Like, as I go for job interviews and stuff, it really is what makes us unique, and we can learn so much just by running our own show. And it forces me to, I'm so time poor at the moment, to still continue to find out what is new and what is out there. And it keeps me going, so I love it, and I hope hope other people feel the same way, and they continue to listen to the show.
And we do pride ourselves on the quality of the show as well, whether that's the audio quality. I hopefully you guys agree that we have a great sounding podcast right now. We're doing everything over Skype, over 4G even, and yeah. The other thing I want to touch on, Kelvin, was actually like who should listen to this show. So I feel like we record or produce this content mostly for people like us.
Yeah, and I think we've tried to, I hate to say this, but dumb it down in the past, and we never really got into our groove because we never really could talk about a particular technology the way we want to. And I know a lot of people tell us that they just can't keep up. They don't know the difference between Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and how the internet works. And we hope we don't lose you, because we definitely want you to learn from, even if we do talk about something else that you may not be familiar with, just to learn from something. But yeah, definitely people like us, I would think.
Keep up, to the nth degree here. But I guess we try to cover on a certain level. If you do listen in and hear about some of the latest and greatest things that are happening, hopefully it helps in your own jobs. You might actually sound smart in meetings. hey, I heard from this podcast that this is happening. Um, so I think that's one side of it that I appreciate. Then I enjoy producing as well. This is just a very quick intro into what we are about, what we will continue to do. But like, I guess we're open to changing the format a little bit based on your recommendation.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's what the show is about. We're technology podcasts, and as technology changes, we want to change with it. So please hit us up on whether it be Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. The website will always be there at thenakedtechpodcast.com. Check it out. Check out our 149 episodes. Actually, it's even more if you consider the beta episodes and a couple of missing episodes that we screwed up on. But hope you enjoy the show. We definitely enjoy making it, and if it wasn't for you, you know, we wouldn't be doing this. So let us know what you think. Kelv out.
Jeff out.